I would like to welcome to the stage, to say a few words, Ismael Cruz Córdova.
Español, inglés. ¿Puedo español?
Sí.
Es Córdoba, by the way, pero siempre, no, that's a good one to break the ice. I told him to misspell it. Escribí una cosita, pero se me va a ir toda la mente porque me siento, y ya mira, ya se me está. Aquí pues es el mejor sitio para llorar, porque yo creo que todos tenemos el mismo amor por nuestra patria. Y eso mismo es lo que yo quería. Cuando me enteré de nuestros próceres que están aquí, que venían, no lo sabía hasta hoy, y quería hablar por un momento, porque a mí cuando yo hago entrevistas siempre me preguntan, ¿y qué actor te motivó para ser actor? ¿Qué película? ¿O qué celebridad? Y yo realmente digo, ninguno. O sea, la realidad de la cosa es que a mí nunca, yo no quise ser actor ni quise hacer cine por ninguna fama, por ninguna celebridad. Para mí siempre todo lo que yo he hecho ha sido por mi familia y por mi patria. Y yo creo que mucha gente, especialmente de este país, personas que no tienen ese enlace y ese fuego que tenemos nosotros con esa islita que te vuelve, te clamamos y también nos vuelve locos, no entienden por qué nosotros tenemos tanto fuego, estamos como ustedes que han dedicado su vida, han sacrificado su vida por esto. Ustedes me entienden, yo no tengo que explicar por qué yo me siento de esta manera. Y yo quiero decirle a ustedes que me siento tan agradecido de la labor que ustedes han hecho, de los sacrificios que ustedes han hecho con nosotros, por... Solamente quiero que sepan que este grupo, este corillo, que idearon esta película, que la escribieron, hemos producido, que la produjeron, que la hemos actuado, que nosotros, esta generación, no vamos a dejar que sus sacrificios sean en vano. La gente se cree que nosotros no vamos a dejar sus sacrificios en vano. Hay muchos, somos muchos y podemos más. Y amamos nuestra patria tal y cual como ustedes la aman, y la vamos a seguir defendiendo, vamos a seguir luchando y seguir educando a las nuevas generaciones, porque han tratado de borrarnos y no han podido y no van a poder. Así que muchas gracias. Tremendo honor, y de parte del equipo de Mataron a Pedro, espero que se la disfruten y nada, todo un pedazo de nuestro corazón.
Gracias, and our final speaker before we get started. So I got to tell you a little funny story here, because you all know Professor José López. I said, José, this movie is 16 minutes long, so whatever you say has got to be shorter than that. Anyways, let me leave you with my great professor, José López.
Thank you, Billy. Let me just say that for me personally, this is a very important moment, because I spent many years with Lolita Lebrón. I visited her in prison and spent years with her after she came out of prison. I spent a great deal of time with Rafael Cancel Miranda and his father, who was arrested in 1950. And I spent a lot of time with Blanca Canales. And there's a whole host of Puerto Rican patriots that I was so honored and so humbled to meet, including people that sometimes we don't really hear about, like Juanita Ojeda, an Afro-Puerto Rican woman who used to sew all the flags of the Nationalist Party. I spent hours with her. And I got to know a level of Puerto Rican nationalism that I don't think anyone has been really privileged to get to know about. But I also spent 10 years with Juan Antonio Correger and Consuelo Lee Correger. Juan Antonio Correger was probably the most important person in Albizu's life outside of his wife, Laura Meneses. And I say this because in 1950, Correger was arrested. He had been thrown out of the Nationalist Party because he was a communist. And Albizu expelled him. And Juan Antonio Correger would be jailed in 1950 along with the rest of the nationalists. And Pedro Albizu Campos said about Juan Antonio Correger, all of Puerto Rico on its knees will never pay the debt that it owes to Juan Antonio Correger. So there's something that most people don't know, and that is where Juan Antonio Correger's thoughts begin and where Albizu's ends, or vice versa. That's how deep this relationship was. And so, for me, it's really important that we're able to chronicle his life, because there is no figure in the 20th century that could ever come close to that of Albizu in the 20th century. I say Bad Bunny's doing a good job in the 21st century. Very good job. But I want to say that Bad Bunny is a child of Albizu. Albizu, in 1950, when he's arrested, he is La Princesa, and all of the nationalists are surrounding him. And one of them, the patron Cruz from Jayuya, tells him, Maestro, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Estamos derrotados. Estamos completamente enajenados con el pueblo. And Albizu said, la patria está pasando por su gloriosa transfiguración. In a moment of despair and crisis, Albizu would utter the most hopeful expression: our homeland is undergoing a glorious transformation. And how glorious was it that we have Puerto Rican political prisoners, many born in the United States, raised in the United States, and were willing to give their lives and everything for Puerto Rico. And that legacy lives on, that when Ricky Rosselló was overthrown, one flag flew over all Puerto Rico. That is the same flag that was used to condemn Albizu. I'm a historian. I have never seen a piece of evidence used in court where a flag is the piece of evidence that someone committed a crime. The Puerto Rican flag was used against Albizu as the evidence in 1950. So, imagine that Albizu died on September 21st, 1965, and look at that in the 21st century. We can have 1 million Puerto Ricans on the street with one flag, the flag that was declared illegal. That is the greatness of our people. And I am so happy to be here and to witness this wonderful film about Pedro Albizu Campos. Thank you.
Hey. So, I took them all on a little tour today to show them our Barrio Borinquen, right? And I explained to them how we really reimagined the Puerto Rican community when that city told us we could not put up a statue of Pedro Albizu Campos. And you know, we got the flags, and the flags kind of changed a whole lot of things. But that was some time ago, and we have a new person representing us now. And this person has brought so much hope and understands us so well that she needed to say a few words tonight. And I want to introduce you to our city council, our Alderperson Jessie Fuentes.
Good evening. So I'm the thing standing between you all and watching this film, so I'm gonna make it good. You know, when Billy was in office and he worked hard to put the two Albizu Campos statues up, and we had a mayor and park district folks that wouldn't allow it, we got blessed with those two big, beautiful Puerto Rican steel flags. I mean, they go 50 feet up into the air, 50 feet into the ground, and they mark the resistance of the Puerto Rican community on Paseo Boricua. However, Albizu Campos is still not in the park. And so earlier this year, I sat with the superintendent and CEO of Chicago Park District, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, who's also a Boricua, by the way. And I said, look, Carlos, we gotta right this wrong. And if it's the last thing that I do, Albizu has to go in the park. Well, we had a couple of community meetings, and we got Albizu Campos in the park to prove it. So much so that today there is an RFQ open until June 26th for artists here in Chicago and Puerto Rico and across the diaspora to apply to build this statue. It closes June 26th. And we are allocating $250,000 to making sure that Albizu can go inside the park. Now, baby, I don't know where you wanted Albizu the first time. But I know where I want Albizu. And Albizu is gonna be on Division and California, opening the pathway to Humboldt Park. Now I want you all to keep your eyes and ears open for the announcement, because on August 7th, we will be announcing the artist that has been selected by the committee. The National Museum for Puerto Rican Arts and Culture has a seat on that committee. The Puerto Rican Cultural Center has a seat on that committee. And so we're gonna make sure that we get it right. Because if Albizu has taught us anything, is that our struggle is a struggle in perpetuity. While we did not see Albizu in the park under Billy's tenure, we will definitely see it before I am out. So thank you all for being here tonight, and let's watch the film.
Let's give it up.